Good morning, everyone. I hope all of you are safe and healthy. Having problem with
Morning,
this.
sir.
Good morning, beta. Let me just see how can I get to you here. Okay, so in yesterday's class we had seen some problems in static friction. We'll do one or two problems and we'll see some cases today, and we will wind up this chapter today. Let us solve this problem. I have a 2 kg block which is hanging, and I have a 5 kg block which is kept on the surface. Now, what I have here is this surface is rough. The value of mu s is 0.5. The value of mu s is 0.5, and the value of mu k is 0.4. You have to find out, number one, does the block accelerate or move? Does the block move? Then you have to find out, the type of friction. Then you have to find out the value of friction. You have to find out the value of FL. So this is the problem for you. You have 2 minutes to solve the problem. Do it. Aram se. These are the type of problems. If the paper of NEET is difficult, then it will come. So these problems should not come with the paper of NEET is supposed to be easy. 2 minutes. Hmm. Have you done this? Now, remember, whenever in a question, they give you the value of mu s. If the value of mu k is given, then the probability is that the system is actually moving. But when mu s is given, you must also look in the possibility that the system might not move at all. And a similar question came in the IIT that I gave in the year 1997, where the system was not moving at all. Now see, what do I need to do? Draw the free body diagram. See, if I draw the free body diagram, this will be 20, this will be T, this will be T, this will be T, and this will be T. Now, if you remember, how do we find out whether the block, in which direction the block moves? Here, the only possible direction, because the only force which is trying to move the block is 20 newtons. Do we understand this? Yes or no? Please raise your hands. So the only way this system can move is downwards. Yes or no? It cannot move upwards on its own, right? It can only move downwards. So it can only move downwards. Now, wherever in this question, wherever in such a question you are confused whether the system is moving or not, what do you do is first find the value of limiting friction. The fourth question has to be done first. How do I find the value of limiting friction? So I draw the free body diagram here. I write the value of n here. And we all know that n is going to be how much? N is going to be 50 newtons. We all know this. Now, as soon as you get the value of n, you can find the value of FL. What will be the value of FL? Obviously, the system is going to move down, so friction has to be backwards. Yes or no? Friction has to be backwards. Whether it's kinetic friction or static friction, it has to be backwards because the system wants to move down. This block wants to move forward. Let us first find the value of limiting friction. What is the value of limiting friction? The value of limiting friction is mu s multiplied by n. If I put the value of mu s from here, mu s is 0.5 and n is 50, you can get the value of FL. What is the value of FL? FL becomes 0.5 multiplied by 50, that is 25 newtons. The value of friction, limiting friction becomes 25 newton. Now you decide whether it is moving or not. Here, as you can see, 20 newtons is trying to pull it downwards. But the maximum force which is trying to stop it, limiting friction, it is 25 newtons. Can this block move? Yes or no? Can this block move? No, this block cannot move. As soon as you understand this, does this block move? The answer is definitely no. This block cannot move because the force which is trying to move it is less than the value of limiting friction. Do we understand this? Can I have some reason that we understand this? The block is not going to move. Now we can come to the second question. What type of friction would act on this? If it does not move, friction has to be static. Now let us try to find out the value of static friction. So I just write it as Fs. Now remember, this block is not moving. This block is not moving. No acceleration. So I can just take this off. There is no acceleration. The block is at rest. The block is at rest. This is T and this is 20. 20 is upwards, T is downwards. The block does not move. The block is at rest. So the value of tension T becomes 20 newtons. Yes or no? Do we understand this? Can I have some reason that we understand this? T becomes equal to 20. There is no acceleration. So you cannot write the equation T minus this or mg minus this. Acceleration is 0. So T becomes equal to 20. As soon as you get the value of T as 20, remember hanging block and block on the ground, both are at rest. T is on the right hand side. Fs is on the left hand side. Remember, static friction, the value can keep on changing. T is on the right hand side. Static friction is on the left hand side. Now you can write the right equation, the red equation, pink equation, whatever you call it. What will be the pink equation? The pink equation will be simply T will be equal to Fs. T is already 20. So the value of Fs becomes 20 newtons as well. This is the value of friction, which is trying to stop it. So this is my third answer. 20 newtons is the value of friction, which is static, which is trying to stop it. The value of limiting friction is definitely 25 newton. Do we understand this question? Yes or no? Can I have some raised hands? Boys. Anything that you have not understood here, please let me know. Simple question. Such a question comes, be careful because there might be a case where the block does not move. There can also be a case where the block moves. That case comes, that case comes. If this case comes, this case comes. What about the students in the online class? Do we have an agreement with this question? So shall I move forward? Okay. Now again, I will give you one more question. Again, you must understand that it's not possible for us to solve all the possible questions, but I am going to give you a fair idea of how you are going to solve questions if such questions come in the exam. If you have any doubt, you can take up the mic and speak. Mu s is 0.5, mu k is 0.4. Again, those four questions I will ask. Number one, does the block move? Number two, type of friction. Number three, value of friction. Number four, the value of limiting friction. Number five, does the block accelerate? Number six, if they accelerate, what is the acceleration? Your time starts now. Question number 1, does the block move? Question number 2, what type of friction acts? Question number 3, what is the value of friction? Number 4, value of limiting friction. Number 5, does the system accelerate? Number 1 and number 5 might look same, but remember number 1 and number 5 are not same. A block moving can also mean, does it move with uniform velocity? Remember, moving with uniform velocity is also moving, but moving with uniform velocity is not accelerating. So please don't confuse yourself. Now, how do I solve this question? Again, we get on and draw the free body diagram. This is 40 Newton, which is trying to pull it downwards. This is T, this is T, this is T, this is T. The only direction in which the system can move is downwards. It cannot just move upwards on its own. If it moves downwards, friction, we don't know which type of friction is this, has to be backwards. Now let us see if it moves or not. Mg, which is 100, is downwards. Normal reaction, which is N, is upwards. Now comes my green equation, N and 100. The green equation simply becomes N equates to 100 newtons. As soon as I get the value of N, which we have done so many times, I should be able to find out the value of limiting friction. The value of limiting friction is mu s multiplied by N. Now the value of mu s is 0.5. The value of N is 100. I can calculate the value of FL. What is the value of FL coming? 100 multiplied by 0.5. 100 multiplied by 0.5 will be simply equal to 25, 50 newtons. So the value of limiting friction becomes 50 newtons. So friction, limiting friction that is trying to stop it from moving is 50. What is trying to pull it is 40. Obviously, 40 cannot pull 50, and hence this block will not move. It remains at rest. So we have the first answer. Does it move? The answer is no, it remains at rest. We also have the answer for this question. Does it accelerate? The system was at rest. It cannot move. It cannot accelerate. So the answer to the first and the fifth questions are simply no. Since we know that the acceleration is zero, acceleration is not there, I can simply write acceleration will be equal to 0. So we have answers to question number 1, 5, and 6. We also have solved question number 4, which is the value of limiting friction. We also have solved what type of friction acts because it does not move. It does not move, remains static. The friction has to be static friction. I can now write it as Fs. Now I have to find the value of Fs. T will be equal to 40. Everyone knows it. T again will be equal to Fs. Everyone knows it. So now I can get the value of Fs. How much is the value of Fs, anyone?
Sir.
40, that is correct. The value of static friction is 40 newtons. Everyone in the online class and offline class, please raise your hands if you have understood the question. Okay, great. So, simple questions. Does not take rocket science. If you have understood the basic concept, now instead of this making this being flat, I can also make it at an incline. Doesn't matter. The question remains same. Now let us say this is 4. Let us say this is 5 kg. The value of mu s is 0.5. I have not changed it. The value of mu k is also 0.4. Remember, mu k must be less than mu s. So everything we are trying to understand. Now comes the same question. Number 1, does the system move? Number 2, the type of friction. Number 3, value of friction. Number 4, the value of limiting friction. Number 5 would be, does the system accelerate? Number 6, if it accelerates, how much is the acceleration? 6 questions. Your time starts now. So I hope you have tried this question. How should you solve this? I think pretty damn simple. Most of you would have done it. My time to do it in my way. 40 newtons, pulling it, T, 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 and T. Normal reaction, I mean, weight downwards, normal reaction upwards, and 50. My green equation becomes N is equal to 50. So far, so good. No problems here. Now let us see where this system can go. The only direction in which this system can go is downwards. Yes or no? This is the only way this system can move. This moves here and this moves here. These are the only, this is the only possible direction in which the system can move. If it is so, whatever friction is there, it has to act in the backward direction. So far, so good. Let us first calculate the value of limiting friction. To calculate the value of limiting friction, we know mu s is 0.5 and we know normal reaction is 25. Can you tell me what is the value of limiting friction?
$25, sir.
25. That is correct, bacha. 25 newtons is the value of limiting friction. As soon as you understand that the value of limiting friction is 25, but the force which is trying to pull it downwards is 40, you will have answer to question number 1. Question number 1, does it move?
Yes, sir.
Answer is definitely yes. Then you also have the answer to question number 2. What type of frictional force will act?
Kinetic friction.
Well done. I'm very impressed with NEET wale bacche. They are better than JEE wale bacche. I told that in the last class to them as well. Very good. Now, instead of going to question number 3, let me jump to question number 5. Will the block accelerate?
Yes, sir.
Well done. The blocks definitely accelerate. Now let us do the remaining 2 questions. Value of frictional force.
20, sir.
How did you get the value of friction force?
Mu K into N.
Fk is always fixed. Fk is mu k multiplied by n. That is absolutely correct. Just put the value of mu k. What is the value of mu k? Mu k is 0.4. 0.4. Then put the value of n. N is 50.4 multiplied by 50 and you will get your answer. So this is simply equal to 20 newtons. So I'll write it here as Fk and I will write as 20. Now the last question remains is to get the value of acceleration. I gave you a shortcut for this acceleration. Do you remember this shortcut that I gave you? Net force is equal to ma. Do you remember that shortcut? From that shortcut, you should be able to tell me the answer in 5 seconds. Tell me what is the answer for acceleration. Here it is 40, which is trying to pull it down. Here it is 20, which is trying to stop it. Net force becomes 40 minus 20. 40 minus 20 is 20. 20 divided by total mass, 5 plus 4, 9. So your acceleration would be 20 divided by 9. Do we remember this?
Yes, sir.
If you don't remember this, not a problem, not a problem. You can still write everything in the original form. The acceleration of this block is going to be downwards, A. You can write the first equation. What is the first equation? The block is moving downwards. Block is moving downwards. 40 minus T will be equal to MA. That becomes your pink equation. 40 is downwards, T is upwards, block is moving downwards. 40 minus T is equal to 4A. Then you can write the yellow equation. T is aage, friction is piche, and acceleration is aage. T is aage, friction is piche, acceleration is aage. You can write the yellow equation. What is the yellow equation? T minus 20 is equal to MA. That will be your yellow equation. You can add these 2 equations without any trouble and you will get the value of acceleration, which I have already told you how to get it. Net force is equal to m1 plus m2 into a. That is where, and that is how you can find the value of acceleration. Can I have some raise hand that we have understood this? Anyone has any doubt, I'll give you a minute because I'm not going to do any other question on this. So if anyone has doubt, please raise it now.
Sir, it is t minus 20 equals to 5a.
Have I written something else? Oh, yes. Sorry. It has to be t minus 20 is equal to 5a. I have written it as 2a. That is wrong. It has to be 5a. That is correct. So you just correct it. T minus 20 should be equal to 5a. I wrongly wrote it as 2a. So please correct it. Anything else? Any other doubt? I'll give you time, don't worry. Discuss it. If you have any doubt, you can ask it. Done? Shall we move? Anyone has any doubt? No? Okay. That takes me to a sort of, if I can call it a quick recap or revision of what we have done, and then I'll give you some tasks which you can do at home. Again, it is not meant for you, it is meant for JEE wala people, but I'll also give it to you. Now, most of the questions that you are going to encounter in NEET will be of this nature, very simple. You must understand that we have done very complicated questions. They are very unlikely to come. I've just done it in the case, just in case it comes in your NEET exam and they make the paper tough, then only you will encounter those questions. Most of the questions that you will encounter will be coming in this category. Which category? Category number 1, acceleration of a block against friction. So what they will have is, you can see simple block, mass M. Then I have a pulling force F. You'll apply a force F. Force F may not be horizontal, it may be at an angle. Then you have to resolve it into cos theta, sin theta, and you can get. Then this will be the value of normal reaction. Your normal reaction will be equal to mg. Everyone knows this. Then friction would be kinetic, Fk. That will be equal to mu k into n. N will be equal to mg. You can just remember this formula. The acceleration will be equal to F minus Fk divided by m. Do we understand this? Yes or no? You understand this formula? It's very simple. These are the questions that will come in your NEET exam, more likely to come. The questions that we have done are less likely because they are on the tougher side. Notes given in your book. I think you already have these notes. So whatever I'm telling you, just note them down. F minus Fk. Fk is mu mg. So you can just remember this as one of the concepts. Please note it down. With the diagram. Whenever you note down any sort of a shortcut or any sort of a formula in physics, you must draw the diagram and label it correctly. What is F, what is Fk? If you don't do that, you will be using the same formula in a different case. And remember, if I make the case different, the answer would be completely different. So whenever you note down a formula in physics, also draw the diagram from which you have used or through which you have used or derived this formula. Note it down. Shall I move forward? Don't have to write everything, beta. You just have to draw the diagram, draw the forces, and write the formula. That is good enough. Don't have to write everything. This is not a board exam result that you are understanding. Just have to understand. You can write it in your language, whatever language you are comfortable with. Just draw the diagram correctly, draw the forces correctly, and then note down the formula. Shall we move again? Okay, here comes the next thing. I think we have also discussed this. In this case, a block of mass m, as you can see, is kept on an inclined plane. Remember angle of repose and all that. This angle is more than angle of repose, and therefore, as you can see, this block is going to slide down with an acceleration a. The force which is trying to stop it is Fk. Normal reaction n is going perpendicular. That is equal to mg cos theta. The force which is trying to pull it down is mg sin theta. And you can write the acceleration. I think we have already written it, but you can write it again. Acceleration is g times sin theta minus mu times cos theta. For a frictionless surface, mu is 0. Acceleration becomes g sin theta. Please note it down. I hope you have noted everything down. Yes? Okay. You already have this sheet with you. Don't worry. So even if you miss anything, you can just leave a 1 or 2 line and you can note down later on. The only thing you should remember is draw the diagram, label it correctly, and just write the formula. There comes this third case. We probably have not discussed this case. So just listen to me very carefully. What has happened here? The heading is retardation of a block up an inclined plane. So basically what has happened here, please look very carefully. I have given this block an initial velocity, some velocity. I can call this velocity as V up the inclined plane. So I pushed it up the inclined plane. Now, if I have pushed it up on the inclined plane, the motion is upwards. If the motion is upwards, as you can see here, frictional force would be downwards, Fk. Mg sine theta is already downwards. Normal reaction N is equal to mg cos theta. So as you can see, in the downward direction, both mg sine theta and Fk are acting, and therefore this block will be accelerated in the backward direction. This block will be accelerated in the backward direction because there is no force in the upward direction. This will be accelerated in the backward direction, and in the backward direction, therefore it is called as retardation because velocity is upwards and acceleration is backwards. I would better call it as acceleration only. I don't use the term retardation, so I'll just remove the term retardation. This is acceleration. When I push the block upwards, what is the acceleration? Remember, block is moving upwards, but acceleration is downwards. And now the value of acceleration, as you can see, becomes g times sine theta plus mu times cos theta. If you try to compare it with the previous one, in the previous one, I had minus here. If you can see, in the previous one, I had minus here because mg sine theta was downwards and friction was upwards. Remember, acceleration was still downwards. So if I am pushing some block up on the inclined plane, the acceleration has to be downwards only, unless and until I apply a force, a very large force in the upward direction. So in first case, there was a minus sign because mg sine theta and frictional forces were in the opposite direction. But in this case, both are in the same direction, and hence we have g times sine theta plus mu times cos theta. Again, for a frictionless inclined plane, mu will be 0 and this will be equal to g sine theta. Acceleration is downwards, velocity is upwards. After some time it will stop. After some time it will stop. Then they can ask, what is the time? How will you find the time? You can simply use the equation v is equal to u plus at. Put the final velocity as 0. You will know the initial velocity. From there, you can calculate time. They can also ask you after how much distance it will stop. Then you can use the equation v square is equal to u square plus 2as. V is 0, u is given to you, a you know already from this formula. You can calculate after how much distance it will stop. Am I clear with this concept? Can I have some raise hand that we have understood this? Once you know the value of acceleration, you can find out a variety of things depending on the question. So I'll give you time now. I have removed the word retardation because I don't want to use retardation. It is always acceleration. It is just in the opposite direction. So I should not call it as retardation. Please note it down. Have you noted it down? If you have noted it down, then comes these two problems on your screen. Problem number 11, you will do it here. The rest of the problems, you can try it at your hostels or home. Problem number 11, JIPMAR 2000. It was time when JIPMAR had a separate exam of its own. And you can see the type of question that are going to come in the exam. These are the type of question that come in the exam, not the type of question that we have done, because we have also done very tough ones. In the exam, simpler work comes. A body of mass 10 kg is lying on a rough inclined plane. It is at an angle of 30 degree to the horizontal. Coefficient of friction is 0.5. What is the minimum force required to pull the body? Questions are straightforward, and that is why I tell you to remember these formulae with their diagram. Because if you remember this formulae with your diagram, you can give the answer for any question that comes in your exam that is need straight away. They are straightforward questions, as simple as it gets. So what is the minimum force that is required to pull the body upwards? The minimum force, you can see in the previous case, this is the previous case. This is the question of the previous case. The net force in the downward direction is mg sine theta plus fk. That is the net force in the downward direction. I want to keep it moving upwards. So how much minimum force should I apply? Whatever force is downwards, if I apply the same force upwards, then the body will be in equilibrium. If the body is in equilibrium, either it will remain at rest, or if I just give it a small velocity, it will keep on moving with the small velocity. So that is what you need to remember, that when someone asks minimum force, if you want to find out the minimum force, just find out whatever force is opposing the motion. You apply the same force in the opposite direction. That will equate the two forces. When the two forces are equated, remember, it is not necessary that the body is at rest. Body can also be moving, and that is the case we are considering. Body will be moving with constant velocity without any acceleration. Do we understand this? Can I have some reason that we understand this? So what is the minimum force required in this case? The minimum force required in this case is equal to the force which is in the downward direction. In the downward direction, what is the force? Mg sine theta, always downwards. Frictional force is also downwards, because I want to make it move upwards. Frictional force is Fk. Fk is equal to mu k into N. N is mg cos theta, and hence we have the force as m into g into sine theta plus mu cos theta, or you can also remember it as F is equal to mass multiplied by acceleration, and the value of acceleration is g times sine theta plus mu cos theta. This acceleration we have already calculated. You can use this acceleration. So there are two ways of remembering this question. Either you can remember it as net force downwards should be net force upwards, or remember the value of acceleration multiplied by m. Am I clear? Can I have some reason that we have understood this? Boys, anyone has any doubts? Well, if you don't have doubts, then congratulations, you are done with one of the difficult problems, one of the difficult chapters in physics. Newton laws of motion is where some people start to get frightened with physics. The next chapter is going to be started from the next class, next week. Work, power, and energy, a easier one, I should say. After this easier one, you will have a slightly tougher one in collisions, and then you will have rotation. I think sir is going to start with rotation. So the toughest one is rotation. The toughest one in the entire curriculum is rotation. So that's it. Once you are done with rotation, everything is very simple. So on that note, I will wind down today's class. Today's class is over. Friction is also over. Newton laws of motion is also over, and that is the topic for your exam tomorrow, Newton's laws of motion, and the exam is always lagging behind the course. So you might not have question on static friction. You might not have, but you can also have. So be prepared for Newton laws of motion in tomorrow's exam. And in the next week, we will be starting with a lovely chapter which you might be having a very good idea. Work, power, energy, WPE. Wind out this class today. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now, else the class is over. Take care. Have a good day and a good weekend as well, because enjoy your life. Okay, steady but also enjoy.